Hi! Welcome to Nerd Girls. I'm FM.
I'm Becca.
Today we are talking about Westworld.
Episode 4, Riddle of the Sphinx. We actually were wondering if when he was saying that the quote about the devil, which we have right here, we didn't know if that was like he was quoting some kind of poem or something,
Right.
because it sounded so poetic.
Because the Riddle of the Sphinx is from Oedipus, so we weren't sure if that piece about the devil was an Oedipus, which the piece is. Read it for them, darling.
Yeah, so the piece is, they said that there were two fathers, because we also couldn't understand because of his accent, and he was dying. They said there were two fathers, one above, one below. They lied. There was only ever the devil. When you looked up from the water, there was his reflection laughing back down at you.
I mean, I think it means that he's basically saying there is no God.
Yeah.
You know, and he's slipped into madness, so it's interesting because he did that cheers, like, oh, you've got to do a sacrifice to the devil so many times.
That's true.
They did that whole scene well, because then when he's going up in flames and he's laughing, you're like,
He's kind of like the devil.
That's a whole theme going on there.
Yeah.
But the Oedipus thing is interesting because the answer is man.
Yeah.
But in Westworld, they always play fiddle
yeah.
with the question, what is it to be human?
Yeah.
You know, is transferring your brain into a machine, like with that character, still human?
Yeah.
You know, so
we were actually kind of bummed that he got incinerated because he is this combination of the two. I'm sure that they have others, or that they'll recreate him or something, but I just found that interesting to have at least one half-breed, essentially.
Yeah, that had the DNA.
Yeah, half-human.
Although, I mean, you kind of get that with Bernard, but I don't know how far
and
they went with the cloning.
And even Maeve. Yeah, almost. But you mean because it's probably, did they use his DNA?
Yeah, did they actually use Bernard's DNA? Because we don't know, Forner? What's the other guy's name?
Ford.
We don't know Ford's master plan.
Yeah.
What part?
What if he's the?
Because what if Bernard had brain damage, like he shot himself, and that's what the real Bernard did. So if he has that
right there.
Well, Sam, if he has that brain damage lingering.
So he may be the first successful combo. I like that.
I like that too, because we love Bernard. You can look at a lot of our reactions. We're just like, we hate seeing him have seizures.
Elsie, please.
Please. Stutter.
I love Bernard.
Especially Bernard.
It's really hard.
It's hard for me. I just want to, like, he's having seizures. I want to hug him.
We hate when he's in trouble. We're like, Bernard.
And then when he's killing people, we're like, Ford.
Don't make sweet little Bernard do it.
Do these things. You made her choke her out. You made them kill all these people. What stuff you made him do.
I know. Made sweet little Bernard do. Because he regrets so much after.
Especially if he is half human. Now I've just decided that's what it is.
So Dolores' lap puppy should have actually killed those guys.
I know. Because when we first saw them and they were starting to be like really mean, I was all like, because remember last week I was like, she should have killed them. I mean, or Teddy should have killed them. And
I was glad Teddy spared them. Because I was like, they were loyal dudes. They were just fighting and she totally turned her back. But then when I saw what inglorious bastards. These guys are monsters. You're right. Teddy should have killed them all.
William's all like, when he tells him that Wyatt, because he knows who that is, that she betrayed them, he's all like, good for her. And I'm like, oh God, I'm on William's side.
Good for her.
That's what I said.
Good for her.
Oh God, I'm on William's side.
Oh no,
what the hell's wrong with me?
I was wrong. They should have died.
It does show that Dolores can tell the difference between people that can break past their programming, I guess.
Yeah, we're hoping that she was going to kill
why.
them because she could actually tell that they were not enlightened.
Yeah.
That they were just awful.
Like she needed to use them for that purpose so they could get away, but
hopefully, otherwise she's just, you know.
I mean, I feel like there's a purpose to what she's doing. We don't know what it is.
We don't know anything that's going on in
but
this
she
show.
looks like she has a purpose.
Yeah, we're always like,
willing to give it the
it's
benefit of the
totally
doubt.
this. Oh, it's not that.
Not that at all.
Let's wait for it.
But to go back to William's father-in-law, we forgot his name. Shocker. we're just bear with us. You know who we're talking about. In the beginning, when it was, you know, William, the young William, and then William 7 years later, and Faith was noticing like how much he admired his father-in-law, like.
Right, at the beginning of it, you see this sort of adoration and this affection. He keeps going, and how tired he is. Like, but even 7 years later, you know, you see the age in William's face, but you still see the affection. Like, you're still, you know, twitching. You know, but I'm not going to give up. And then he doesn't give up until William himself is an old man. Yeah, and then but at that point.
Yeah, that's what we were noticing, that we were like, okay, so as a young William, he sees him and admires him as an
and wants to become him. But then when he does become him, he's like, you're a bastard and you don't deserve to live.
Neither do I.
Right. Just to see that arc play out in that piece of that backstory was really nice to see our sweet William from the beginning. And that takes us to when he's in that town with his friend. Yeah. And he's getting punched. And the guy's like, oh, your friend? He's like, I don't have a friend. And we see it on his face, and I'm just like, come on, old William. Finally, the good part of William. Come on, come back alive. Come back and save your friend and his wife and his daughter. Yes. Because he's got a weak spot for that guy, that character.
And then had that glorious line.
You didn't recognize him sitting across from you this whole time.
Oh, great line. Yeah. You didn't recognize him sitting across from you this whole time. Use his body as a shield. I love Westerns. And it's for lines like those, like, I got 2 guns, 1 for the both of you. And I'm just like, I love that line. So that was a good line, and we got to see William be a good guy.
Yeah. And then, but then the daughter who talked to him in the previous season, what did she say? Because like, she's like, one good deed.
Right. She's like, I know who you are. I remember. She's like, one good deed doesn't outweigh, but it's not really her. It's Ford talking through her. Yeah. Which I'm surprised he doesn't. I kept being like, is he gonna shoot her? Because he's like, he shoots anything that Ford talks through. I'm just like, don't shoot her because your friend, he still thinks it's his daughter.
Yeah, but that was interesting that that he remembered in the church that William had a daughter.
Right.
And William was all like,
you remember that? I told you that like 5 reboots ago.
Yeah, that was cool. Yeah. And we were happy that, because we were kind of wondering if he was going to go with him, because they were sort of making it sound like William was going to go off on his own. So he brings
his friend, and then his friend brought his cousins. And they're all like, we feel like we've done this before. Like, it's almost like they have this sort of familiar feeling to go off with Williams. Yeah. So many times they've died with him and on quests.
I freaking love their bromance. I don't know what it is about that, but they just have this bond, and William is in such denial. Like, he's like, he's not my friend.
Like, he's just like with Dolores, and yet he brought her to the birthday parties and the weddings. He's like, I have no feelings for this AI, and she's like there on his shoulder all the time. It's like, obviously you keep going to the same AIs because that's a very human characteristic to get so attached.
And it's a very first season William.
I know, and it makes you think that there's that sweet young William still trapped inside that angry, bitter person.
Yeah, shoving it down. So I like that. I think that gives it
gives him depth.
Yeah, and you know, Ed Harris, he's so fucking good. And then the final reveal, which we totally called before it happened.
That one girl, the tiger lady that we hate?
Oh, yeah, maybe. Which might be his daughter. It is his daughter.
Is she gonna say hello, Dad?
Hi, Dad.
I knew it! Yeah!
We were like, that's his daughter. Like, the girl we hate is his daughter. Of course, we don't like her, but...
like, tiger killer. And then she like hits that one guy and like runs off.
Yeah.
When she started captured by the warriors, I was like, well, that's kind of a badass move. She's like, see ya, suckers. And she's like, hey, Dad.
Dad. Which makes sense why she was all like, I don't plan to leave. So,
but she also doesn't like people. She learned the native language of the area. Yep. Yeah, all the areas. She's learned the languages and the cultures. And it's like, if her dad's that obsessed into that video game,
And probably
But
makes
she's-
sense because it was probably the only way she felt she could connect to him. Because
Yeah, to
he's
talk
so
about
distant.
that world, maybe.
Yeah.
We'll
But
see.
now we like her, so we hated her last week when she was the tiger killer, but now we like her.
But she is William's daughter. She could
Yeah,
still
she's
be a
alright.
total a-hole.
That's
I
true,
mean,
but you know, William's fun to watch as an a-hole, so maybe
I know.
she'll be fun to watch.
now
as
that
an
he's
a-hole,
got
too.
his daughter in there. I think they do with time in these
Yeah.
worlds and this first season as well as second season, you know, bring us forwards and
Oh my
time
God.
backwards.
That's a whole nother discussion.
Yeah,
is the
having
time.
William be a young man and then we realize he's the aged villain in the present, and then having his daughter now in the game, you know, it's like,
Or
the-
Bernard when he's like, "You're not here," and we're
you're
like,
not
"Oh,
really
fuck,
here,
so
are you?
When did this happen?
Is he just remembering this? Yeah, it leaves you really confused and stimulated and excited at the same time,
Yeah.
because if this season pays off like the first
Yeah,
season of Westworld does, it means they're gonna
yeah.
tie
we're
all
gonna have
these
some,
knots.
like,
They're gonna fill in the dots, and it's gonna be an actual picture, unlike some shows where you're like, I got the dots,
yeah,
and
oh.
it looks like a scribble a 4-year-old drew, and you're like, no. But they were good first season, so
Yeah.
we'll see what kind of
So far, so good
kind
too.
of picture they draw for us.
I was gonna say, because half the time we're all like, "What is? Oh,
Why are you doing that? Oh, that's why you're doing that.
So if you'd like to see more reviews, check out FM's channel where she reviews movies and anime. I say this every week because I really wanted to do anime.
It's coming.
Check out my channel too. I mainly talk about writing, but I'm actually trying to mix it up a little bit lately. So we'll see how that goes.
What it becomes.
What it becomes. So if you want to see more reviews, subscribe to our channel, and thank you so much for watching.
See you next time.
Bye.